Hi guys, it's Nika, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm not really in the best shape today. I'm feeling a little nervous about recording this video. I have no idea why, but I just really feel this anxiety inside of me. So I will just try to do this somehow. I really don't know what's wrong, but hopefully as I talk it will get a little better. But today I'm back with another Create a Sim video in which I will introduce you to two more of my Sims who were originally in The Sims 3 and now I'm recreating them in The Sims 4. Well, I have already recreated them a few months ago, maybe almost a year ago at this point. And for this video I just gave them a makeover and slightly adjusted their faces, and yeah, and I gave them all the outfits because originally they only had their everyday outfit, and besides I have deleted some CCs, so they were like half naked, so I fixed that. So today it is Mason and Hannah's turn, and Mason and Hannah are boyfriend and girlfriend respectively of Mary and Scarlett from my Rose Sisters video from a few weeks ago, 2 weeks ago I believe. Yeah, Mason is dating and he later gets married to Mary, and Scarlett is dating Hannah, and now I would like to tell you a little bit more about them. I don't really have them all that fleshed out, and I don't really remember, or I mean, well, there's not really much to remember. There were some storylines in the original Legacy. Hannah wasn't even there because she didn't exist. I will get to that later. And Mason and Mary they just happened. Like one day I was just like, so Mary has been seeing this guy. Also, Mason originally looked very different. But yeah, not much to talk about what they were like originally, because I wasn't really doing much with them, and I didn't really do anything with Hannah, because like I said, she wasn't in the original. So anyway, Mason, you may notice in the corner his surname is not that's from an older version of the story, and I don't know why I used that surname here when it's not. And I'm sure it wasn't the surname I used for him a year ago, but it's there, oh well. And I forgot to fix it, so I will do that later. Mason is actually the son of Thomas and Alice, who you also might remember from another one of my videos. I will have to include pictures in this video because I have so many characters, and yeah, so he is their son. Thomas and Alice are Tyler's friend. I think I've said that already. I'm just saying that for a second time. And so, since like their parents were very close friends, Mason and Mary knew each other since childhood, but they never particularly liked each other, especially Mary. She couldn't stand Mason. She found him obnoxious. She thought he's too full of himself and thinks too much of himself, and she felt like he's not as cool as he seems to be, or as he is trying to appear. She thought he was not that cool, and she felt like he's just using the names of his cooler, richer, more famous friends to also become cool and famous. Like, check this out, I'm friends with these cool people, that means I'm cool too, except Mary thought he wasn't that cool. And actually she was the only one who felt that way, at least from like the Rose family. Everyone else adored Mason. Her father, actually, Tyler, was like, well, if I ever have a son, I hope he is like Mason. He never had a son. But yeah, so Mary just, she couldn't stand him, she didn't like him, and she never really intended to have anything with him. But then one time she was staying in Bridgeport with her sisters, and she was scrolling through social media as one does, and she noticed that Mason is throwing another one of his parties. Mason was sort of known for this thing. Like, whenever his parents were out of town, he would throw a massive party in their Bridgeport apartment. And so Mary saw that and she was annoyed and like, oh, look how obnoxious he is again. And and she showed her sisters, and they started teasing her about how if she hates him so much, why is she following him on there, and why is she watching all these videos from the party if she doesn't care? And so they were implying that she must be somehow into him, and Mary was like, fuck no, I'm not. Like, he's like the last person on earth I would be attracted to. And they kept teasing her, and eventually she went to her room, and as she was lying on the bed, she was like, you know, actually, I would like to visit his party. I would like to see what it's all about. So she got up, she arrived there. Mason was very surprised to see her. And when he asked her what she's doing there, she was just like, well, I wanted to see what all this fuss about your parties, what it's all about. And Mason asked her, so how do you feel about it? Do you like it? And who's texting me right now? Anyway, so Mary was like, well, these parties suck. They seem so much cooler on the internet. Like, hello? The music is so quiet. You call this a party? And like, she kind of challenged him to turn it up and everything, and he actually, I mean, the party was not quiet, it was already loud. She was just teasing him and challenging him, and Mason was like, okay, cool, I can turn it up for you, and he did. And so Mary was actually kind of impressed. She didn't expect him to do that because she felt like already it was way too loud and the neighbors must be upset. Anyway, then she stuck around for the party. She actually talked to Mason a little bit, that she was changing her opinion on him, maybe a little bit, but not too much. And then the neighbors actually got upset and they called the police. And everybody, all the visitors, everyone at the party, they tried to hide and run away and pretend they never went to this party. Everyone left but Mary, because Mary also thought that it's kind of her fault as well. Because even though the party was already very loud, she felt like she made it worse when she challenged Mason and he just like accepted the challenge and turned it up even more. So she stayed there, she took the guilt with him, I guess, and he was very impressed by that, and he was very thankful because whenever he got in trouble with other people, no one else ever took the blame with him. Everyone just left it up to him. And so he was very thankful for that. And long story short, because we're actually getting kind of close to the end, so I have to shorten it a little bit. Later that week, he asked her if she would like to go out with him, you know, just as friends. Like, hey, I know you kind of hate me, but I would really like to thank you for what you did to me, and so do you want to meet up? And long story short, it wasn't just one meetup. It wasn't just one date. It turned into something bigger, and they realized that they actually have quite a few topics in common that they could talk about. And suddenly, Mary realized that Mason's not all that obnoxious as she thought, and that he's actually, well, if not nice, yeah, but he's kind of fun to be around, and he's not like as bad as you thought, basically. And yeah, so they started dating and everything, and you know how it goes in A Sims Legacy, I guess. So that would be Mason, and we have significantly less time for Hannah. Oh my god, I need to figure out how to do these videos better, because every time I do multiple Sims in one video, I end up not talking enough about some of the Sims, and I talk way too much about the very first Sim that I'm creating in the video. So, Hannah's turn. First off, I have to say that originally she wasn't created by me in The Sims 3. She was created by Poison Fire Leaves on Tumblr, and she was created for a Bachelorette challenge that I was doing. Back then, every single Sims 3 Assembler was doing either a Bachelor challenge or Murder Mystery Bachelor challenge. And it was a great time, and of course I had to join in and do my own bachelorette challenge. Multiple people from the community sent me their sims, and eventually Hannah won. Well, actually, she was winning from the start. She got Scarlet's heart instantly, basically. And instead of trying to come up with something, I'm just gonna read you her original, entering biography, I guess. So yeah, let's just go. So Hannah was born and raised on the beautiful countryside of Riverview. She grew up as the eldest daughter of 5 children. Hannah's parents owned a farm and the children helped with the animals or in the vegetable garden. She always loved the outdoors and became a green thumb. Due to knowing where the animals go after they leave the barn, Hannah became a vegetarian at a very young age. Hannah always sees the good in people and is always nurturing her younger siblings. But Hannah does feel like she is missing someone in her life, and basically that is why she joins Scarlet's Bachelorette Challenge. Sorry, I can't speak anymore. And yeah, they got together there, and I think I already said in the older video that after the challenge they decide to travel, because Scarlett is a traveler and photographer, and she's got like a travel blog and everything. And after that they settle down and they start a tiny little farm of their own. And I would leave it at that for today. So I hope you enjoyed these 2 sims. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will just see you all next time. Thank you all so much for watching. I love you guys. Bye everyone. I really cut this short at the end, huh? I'm sorry, I had to. Bye everyone.